Hello boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, this is Defub21. Apparently a trailer has just been released for the newly announced, simply apparently called Xcom 2, and I thought I would just play the video for the first time and give my reaction to it. Let's turn on the sound now. Got to use my microphone, my headphones. Pretty. 20 years after unification. What's going on here? Okay, this is looking good. Gee, bloody hell. Those snake things in the, they weren't in the last game, were they in the original ones, I wonder? Ooh, swords. That's fancy. Oh, and he's wearing a hoodie. Damned hoodies. Hoodies do not instantly mean cool. Most definitely, hoodies most definitely do not instantly mean cool. Oh, a big mothership thingy. A mobile base this time, okay. That's probably what that is. From what I just read other places, it's supposed to be PC only. And that's this here. Ah, very good. Although it puts me, oh yes, IGN first. Go IGN. Yes, we're a giant, well, very big website in the context of gaming websites. Let's just end that there. I don't want to look at that at all. No. Yeah, I think I've got a Eurogamer open here somewhere. Let's look at some pictures. Some fancy pictures. At least we could if that thing wouldn't keep sticking in the way. Okay. Oh, there we go. So that's a very clean aesthetic. And of course, by having the enemy human soldiers' faces covered, they don't have to do anything like the kind of number of unique faces they'd have to do otherwise. In terms of face design and the art assets and all the rest, so it's a lot less labor and time intensive. Let's see full resolution. Okay. So it's been a while since I played the previous XCOM game, and I actually got the expansion pack for it and I haven't played that. And I must admit to my shame, I got to the last mission. Well, not necessarily to my shame. I got to the last mission on the previous game, and the damn thing crashed on me, and I think it actually crashed on me twice on 2 separate occasions. And when I went back to, before I could get back to it again, my hard drive or my SSD died. and then to reinstall it. I don't think it supports or wasn't set up to do cloud saves. At least I don't think it was. I'd be pleasantly surprised if it has been. But, actually, this is one thing I like about it. Kind of my criticism that I would have had for the previous XCOM game. I mean, yes, one of the advantages the original kind of trilogy of XCOM strategy games had, Enemy Unknown, Terror from the Deep, and the other one, which this seems to be influenced by, where, well, I mean, well, it seems to be set in one. I don't know if it's set in one cityscape, but if it is, the third one was like that. But if, stress the if part, if what's the word I'm looking for? Compared, the one criticism I would have, particularly compared to the first two games in the XCOM series compared to the last one, is they were kind of, I mean, yeah, the graphics were much more basic, and that obviously might have been a mitigating factor. But they did tend to, it was a darker tone to it in terms of the imagery. You'd see when you invaded the alien ships, you'd find there, bits of human beings that were, victims of experiments, or in glass jars and things, and it was all kind of, it was the aliens looked kind of darker and kind of nastier for the most part than they did in the previous game. And this, I think, in a way, is kind of more back to form. It's kind of particularly when I played XCOM Unknown, Enemy Unknown the first time. Although actually, I think I only played the demo of the first one. Then I actually got Terror of the Deep and I played that, and then I got Enemy Unknown, but and played that. But from what I can remember, it was certainly the first game when I was playing it when I was younger was certainly somewhat unnerving, because you never knew where the monsters were or the aliens were, and the more progressively went up, the more you progressed into the game, the more formidable the aliens you faced off against. The nastier the nastier looking they were, and the noises you'd hear out in the darkness and you couldn't see anything. It's certainly the first two games to me seem to be not much darker in tone than the previous game, but this alien here looks more of a return to form on that side of things. Let's back to the same images again. A great way of saving time to put the humans' faces, make them obscured. So it says there, that's the usual thing. Go back to that for a moment. As a side note, just while I'm here, this Get Windows 10 icon has opened up has appeared today, this morning, as when I booted up my computer. I'm running Windows 7, so it basically allows me to kind of reserve a free download, which I mean by reserve means reserve the bandwidth. So I think they might have a what's the word for it? A queue-based system in place, so to guarantee that when you go to download this new operating system, it's downloaded and installed much more quickly. This thing says 3 gigs, which sounds to me a bit small, unless it's technically kind of an update patch for your existing operating system install. As someone who's used, and installed Windows going back to 95, 98, reinstalled, uninstalled, reinstalled on computers, both 95, 98, XP, Vista, and 7, I've always, my understanding has always been that it's best to do a fresh install. So in other words, so that you're upgraded, if you're upgrading from one operating system to another, you don't inherit any of the quirks in terms of things like the registry and sort of that from the previous OS. If that's the case, then what I might have to do is do a complete reinstall of the Windows 7 operating system. Then rather than automatically downloading all the patches, just go to this little icon in the corner and put the process in place to download and upgrade to Windows 10. I don't think I'll do it immediately. I mean, apparently this is happening in July. I'm a bit suspicious. I mean, the thing is, I'm wondering as well is, yeah, great, free copy of Windows 10, but if I get that free copy of Windows 10, is that forever? If I uninstall it, can I reinstall it again in the future? So as I said, with the machine I built myself, what happens if my motherboard dies? I mean, typically what will happen if that happens is obviously got to replace your motherboard. Your operating, certainly the current versions of Windows, will typically recognize, oh, a different board has been put in the machine, and it'll, you might think you've put the OS in a different computer, and that can cause issues. Or at least I've heard it can. It could be wrong on that, or our information could be out of date. But either way you look at it, again, the video is short, the trailer, but looks cool. And again, nice to hear it's coming in November. I think has it been 2 years, maybe 3? I could be wrong on that again, when the last one came out. But again, they had the engine already in place. They already had the control methodology in place. Actually, the one criticism that I would make of the previous game was, in terms of the AI, the artificial intelligence on obviously controlling the aliens, was that they'd all start off in principally one location or close to it when you started to fight a turn-based combat on the ground, the main meat of the game, and then they'd move out automatically turn by turn. In the previous XCOM games, they would be assumed that the aliens would be all over the place, particularly if the crash site, or even you were visiting as an example, had been there for a couple of hours plus in terms of game time, which would mean that the aliens might have dispersed quite a bit, and they'd all certainly know where you were when you got your turn, because you'd landed in some big, space plane / spaceship, and that led to, you never knew where they were, you never know what direction they were going to come at you from, and I think it made the game easier by not having that in there, and I think it's something that it would be an improvement for this one if they were to actually implement something like that. Whether they will or they won't, I don't know. But it's PC only, which I suppose is good in the way that they won't make any compromises for the console playing heathens, as they say. But I really do like the things appeared again. But I really do like that new alien. It's a lot nastier looking than the ones in the than any of the ones in the previous game. I'm not sure who's publishing this. It's not Firaxis, is it? It's 2K or something. I can't remember. I'll have to look that up. But so yeah, for a nice quick trailer, yeah, looks good. It seems to be kind of a more guerrilla / guerrilla warfare type thing, which could be interesting if it's properly implemented. Again, Windows 10, this was the proof will be in the pudding, as it were. I mean, if Windows 10 is released in July and no nasty surprises turn up, I'm not going to be one of the first people to install it. I'll wait for other people to do it and see if there's any nasty DRM things or advertising things or anything to do with personal information being taken or whatnot, which you might want to avoid. See, and I'll wait for the backlash and for Microsoft to retreat and take it out if it is in there in the first place. And if not, there's also the key thing as well, is will it have any impact? I mean, this thing is interesting. CD Projekt, again, they just released Witcher 3, got great reviews, doing really well apparently in sales. The first big hit for CD Projekt. It'd be interesting, to me, if they would, considering how historically they've quite aggressively supported the games they've released with after release content, if they would develop and release a patch. They may even be working on it already. They may have been working on it even before the game came out, to upgrade the game to DirectX 12. I wouldn't expect with the DirectX 12 patch that they'd actually wouldn't alter gameplay in any way or the game's design, or even necessarily enhance the game's graphics, but allow for much greater efficiency. So maybe that would allow for higher resolution, well, not necessarily higher resolution, but higher frame rates with better settings on existing graphics cards. That would be pretty good. The GTX 980 Ti was recently announced by NVIDIA. It's the new card's kind of a cut down GTX Titan X. That 600 euros and a bit if I had the money. But again, if you're at this stage of the game, if you're planning on building a PC or upgrading your existing one, I would probably hold off and wait until DirectX 12 comes out, because you may be able to get a considerably better performance than you get currently from an existing card, graphics card with DirectX 12, because it could hugely improve performance, and not just in terms of your graphics chip, but also in terms of your processor, because it'll take workload off there too. Anyway, this is Defub21. If you liked this short video, please let me know in the comments, and put your own views in, both on DirectX 10 and on Xcom 2, and any positive criticism is certainly welcome. Toodaloo!